Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Myra from Low Carb Love, and today we're going to be making a keto sushi bake. If you've never heard of it, get ready to fall in love because it's absolutely amazing and it's so quick to make. Let's get started. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is grab your Cauli-rice. So this is just a frozen bag. I buy the big bag at Costco, and it's already riced. If you have a full head of cauliflower, you can use that too, and then you would just kind of like grate it. This is about, I think, like 7 ounces or so. So now what we're going to do is we're going to microwave this for 3 minutes, and then I will show you step by step on how to make the sushi rice. And now what we're going to do is drain it. So we're going to cut a little corner, and I will show you how I do it because obviously it's hot. So let's grab our towel, and now let me show you. So now what I do, because it's hot, I'm just going to wrap it around with a towel, and then just, obviously it has a little hole, and you just start squeezing because it has a lot of water. And you can actually just put it on the stove, but it's gonna take a lot longer to get all this water to evaporate. So once you've gotten as much as you can, this is what the bag will look like. So I did a pretty good job, okay? So now let's go ahead and just cut a bigger piece so that we can, okay, come on, scissors. All right, so now let's go ahead and we're gonna turn on our flame. Okay, so we're gonna use a medium heat, and let's start off with 1 tablespoon of oil. You can use avocado, olive, coconut, and we're gonna let that heat up, and then we are going to add our cauli-rice. Okay, so our oil is nice and hot, so let's add our cauli-rice. Okay. So we're just going to spread everything out, and the point of this now is to dry it up, because if you leave water on it, it's just mushy, and no one, we obviously don't want mushy rice. So let's go ahead and mix this, and I'll show you what it looks like before we add our other ingredients. You want it to be nice and fluffy, not sticky at all. See? Okay, so we've been cooking this for about 2.5 to 3 minutes, and it is now nice and dry, as you can see. So now we're going to add, let's go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. So here we're going to add 1 teaspoon of rice vinegar. Just add it right on top. Our sweetener, which is 1 tablespoon of sweetener, that kind of stuff. Okay. And this is how you make sushi rice, so yes. And now, oh, and turn off the heat, because we don't want the heat on. So we turned off the heat, we added our teaspoon of rice vinegar, our teaspoon of sweetener, a little pinch of salt, and now let's just mix it all together. And in case you didn't know, that is how sushi rice is made. It does contain usually sugar, but we're using sweetener, and the rice wine vinegar, and then our little dash of salt. So it looks beautiful. And now we will transfer it into our baking dish, okay? Okay, so now that our sushi rice is done, we're gonna grab our little baking dish. And if you wanna make a bigger portion of it, obviously just double it. But now we're going to scoop this in, and we are going to place it first. So this is a little kind of like layered, but we first put in our rice, okay? And once it's in, you're going to want to pat it down a little, kind of press it in. You want to make it look as pretty as possible. So I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so it's all pressed in, ready to go. Okay, so now we're going to start with our tuna mixture, or sushi mixture. You can use 2 packets of tuna or 1 can, okay? And believe it or not, this is going to taste like sushi. Go ahead and just crush up the little tuna, make sure that there's no chunks. So now that we have our tuna all mixed up, let's add our mayo. Just gonna add our mayo right into it. Okay, and we're going to add our sweetener. Okay, we will add our little pinch of salt. I swear these, sometimes they get stuck on there. We're gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of rice vinegar. 1/4 teaspoon. And if you like spice, which I do, you would do about a teaspoon, half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of sriracha. I'll measure it just so you guys see. So we did a little less than a full teaspoon to give it that spicy life. Okay. And we got most of it out. Okay, we're gonna mix everything together. Oh, you know what? A little garlic powder. Let's do a little garlic powder. It's probably like an 1/8 of a teaspoon. And now let's mix. And now let me show you how we're gonna layer this. So we're gonna set that aside. We have our green onion. So this one's already washed. And let me go ahead and cut this up. Okay, so now we're just gonna cut a little green onion. Get it just as thin as possible because, you know, this is gonna be just mixed into our sushi bake. Some pieces are big. And I'm not a professional chopper here, so don't judge me. That should be good. Okay, so we have our green onion. I'm just going to throw it in. Okay. And we're going to add just a little pepper. This is optional, but I love pepper, so we're going to do it. If you have white pepper, that's even better. Okay. And let's go ahead and just mix this in. That's beautiful. You can add more green onion because it is to taste, but I used one little, whatever it's called. Now let's go ahead and grab our seaweed. So I bought this big pack. We're just gonna grab like 1 sheet and we are going to cut this, I would say just in half, because we're gonna use the rest of the seaweed to eat it once it comes out. So let's say about there. Okay. Ooh, perfection. Okay, so we have, just so we don't forget, we have our sushi rice, Cauli-rice, sushi Cauli-rice, our piece of seaweed, and now let's go ahead and pour in our tuna. So the regular version is usually made with rice, but everything else is the same, which is great because the Cauli-rice is bomb and you guys are going to love this. Okay, so now that we have our, you want to make it kind of pretty as much as you can, like flatten it out so it's not all lumpy. That looks really nice. Okay, so we have that all set. And now to finish it off, and if you're about the spicy life, then we do this. Ready? And we have our sesame seeds. This is all optional, but I like it, so we're doing it. Okay, so make sure that your oven is set to broil. We're gonna broil this for 3 to 4 minutes. So now let's go ahead and throw this in. It is set to broil and we will check on it in 3 to 4 minutes. We pulled it out at 3 minutes and this is what it's looking like. Little beauty. We're gonna let it cool a tiny bit and then you already know my favorite part's coming up, the taste test. So you guys already know, I'm obsessed with this part of my videos. the taste test. So we're just putting it into a little piece of seaweed. And you can get like the little packets that already come pre-cut. But since I bought the big bag, I just cut little pieces. And cheers. Wow. This is so delicious. All the flavors come together. And it feels like you're eating like sushi. What's it called? Like the tuna. Spicy tuna. That's like the flavor you actually get. But even alone, I mean, if you don't have the seaweed, you don't like have to have it. It's still gonna work without it, and you can eat it just with a spoon, you know, with like your fork. But I think it's the experience of having the seaweed and then, you know, making the little mini tacos. But guys, you have to try this. You have to make it. You're gonna be obsessed. It's super, super easy to make. And it's one of those things that like you never think about it, but once you make it, it'll be on repeat. It's that good. So you can add a little bit of extra sriracha. You can add some, what is it, like wasabi, some ginger, whatever you'd like. It will be delicious, and it's just an added bonus. But anyway, I'm going to sit here and enjoy the rest. Well, not the rest, but like my little portion. Because, of course, I have to share some with Donnie and Matthew. But let me know what you think of this idea in the comments below. And, of course, if you make it, share your review with us, because I love to hear your feedback on these, on my recipes. And I hope to be sharing some of these on Instagram. And thank you so much for joining me on this video. I hope you enjoy this recipe as much as we do here. And until next time, I love you, and I'll see you on my next video. Mwah.